Hello everyone, welcome back to LG Fitness and Education, and for this video we are going to dive into some economical concepts within the industry of personal training. So we have quite a bit to unravel, so let's get started. So for this presentation we are looking at economical concepts within the personal training market, specifically strength training for the middle-aged population. And this is an analysis on price controls, elasticity, and labor markets. And this is created by me, Luke Gaiman, NASM CPT. So let's look at a normal good first. So, example, as people make more money, they are willing to spend it on health and wellness services, and specifically on top-tier personal trainers. As income increases, the quantity demanded also rises. And here we have defined the percent change with the following information. So for our quantity demanded numbers, we are going to say, well, 100 sessions is going to be bumped up to 200 sessions per month. And the people's income are going to be increased from $100,000 to $150,000. So based on this information, let's look at the computations, right? So we start out with the formula first. So it's going to be the percentage change of quantity demanded. So the percentage change is delta. And then it's going to be divided by the percentage change in price. And that breaks up into quantity 2, or Q2 minus Q1, over Q2 plus Q1 divided by 2, all over P2 minus P1 over P2 plus P1 divided by 2. So let's look at kind of how the numbers come into play. So this is a normal good, right? The sign is going to be positive, right? If you have a positive sign, it's a normal good. And so we fill in the numbers 200 minus 100, and then 200 plus 100 divided by 2, all over 150,000 minus 100,000 divided by 150,000 plus 100,000 divided by 2. So if you plug this into the calculator, right, if you plug this into the calculator first, you should get 0.67, and do the same for this, you should get 0.4. And that is going to come out to 1.675, or if you round it, 1.7. And that is a positive number, so then we say it is a normal good. So since we just discussed what a normal good is in this market, now we're going to discuss an inferior good. So for example, as a recession hits, income falls, but people still want health and wellness services, but can only afford discounted personal trainers. So as income falls, the demand for discounted personal training services increase. And now we have to find the percent change with the following information. So the quantity demanded numbers is going to be 100 sessions. That gets bumped up to 200 sessions per month, and people's income, 100,000, that gets decreased to $50,000 per year. And we're still going to use that same formula as we did in the previous slide. So here's an inferior good, just plug in your numbers. So 200 is Q2 and 100 is Q1. So you do Q2 minus Q1 over Q2 plus Q1 divided by 2. And then you just plug and chug those numbers. And then same thing with the price. So 50,000 is P2 and 100,000 is P1. And then you just do 50,000 minus 100,000. And then 50,000 plus 100,000 divided by 2. Run the quantity part in your calculator, and you should get 0.67. Do the same thing for price. You should get negative 0.67. Now you got those two numbers, you're going to divide them, and then you should get -1. And because the sign is negative, that's what makes it an inferior good. Next, we are going to discuss is substitutes. So in the personal training industry or the fitness industry, there's a lot of substitutes. And we'll talk about those substitutes later on. So let's just start with this. So an example, the price of training sessions is rising by 10%. So that is the price, and middle-aged adults still want to be healthy. So instead of going to the gym, 20% decide to ride their bike and partake in outdoor activities that still help with their health and wellness, but they're not going to the gym because the price is rising, by 10% with the training sessions. So let's look at how we compute this. So first, substitutes. Substitutes are always positive. When you get to your final answer, right, always pay attention to the sign. If the sign is positive, it's a substitute. So the formula that we're going to use to solve this is the percentage change, delta, right, of quantity A over the percentage change in the price of B. And because the price is rising, we have an up arrow. And also because since the middle-aged adults are going to ride their bike, that's also going to be an up arrow. Okay? Now that's going to lead to, so now it's just plug and chug, right? Since we have 20%, that is the quantity. That's going to increase, so that's our top number, 20%, over 10%. 10% is our bottom number, and that's our price. And when you run that in the calculator, it should come out to 2%, so 0.02. And that is a positive number, a positive percentage, so we conclude that it's a substitute just because the sign is positive. All right, so since we reviewed substitutes before, now we are going to review complements. So let's discuss this. So as middle-aged adults find it fascinating that exercise can help alleviate their health problems, due to this, they're going to start a fitness program and utilize personal trainers. Therefore, the price of sessions will decrease by -80% because more people are going to the gym. So the price of the sessions will go down, and since there is a rise in the number of gym goers and clients, there will be a rise in purchasing gym attire, and this will increase by 40%. So, right, we have gym attire. That complements fitness training, because when you're going to the gym, you have to wear proper attire in order to be comfortable and do your exercises. So that's how the clothing aspect complements fitness training. So let's look at the computation for that. So complements, once you get your final answer and you have a negative number, right, that the sign, the negative sign, is always going to refer to a complement. So again, still using that cross price elasticity, but now this time we're changing up the direction of the arrows a little bit. So we have the percentage change in quantitative A over percentage change in the price of B. And the quantity is going to increase while the price is going to decrease. So if we just plug and chug based on our scenario, right, 40% is going to be the top number because that's referring to the quantity of the gym goers and purchasing the gym attire. And then we have the price on the bottom because since more people are going to the gym, the price is going to go down, and that's going to be -80%. So we compute this, we calculate this, and we get negative 50% or negative 0.5. And like I said, because the sign's negative in the number, we have a complement because the sign is negative. So since we got done with discussing the terminology for price elasticity, now we are going to review, well, is the demand for the personal training market elastic or inelastic? Right, so and then next we have given an estimate for the price elasticity of demand, and then we have to provide a brief explanation as to how price elasticity is computed and interpretation of your estimate. So let's start with this. The personal training market is elastic because it's a service that you don't really need, right? You can work out by yourself. You don't need a trainer. So based off of that interpretation, right, it would be considered a luxury good, not a necessity. So based off of that explanation, let's compute everything. So the formula that we are going to use is the percentage change in quantity demanded over the percentage change in price. And our numbers are going to be the following. So Q1 is going to be 100, and then Q2 is going to be 120. And then P1 is going to be 30, and P2 is going to equal 35. So if we plug this into the formula, right, if we expand the formula, it's going to be Q2 minus Q1, Q2 plus Q1 divided by 2, all over P21 minus P1, P2 plus P1 divided by 2. And we plug and chug. We put the numbers in and see what we get. So we get 120 minus 100, 120 plus 100 divided by 2. That simplifies to 20 over 110. And then you do 35 minus 30, 35 plus 30 divided by 2. That simplifies to 5 over 32.5. And then if you take this fraction and simplify it, you should get 0.18. And then if you simplify this fraction, you should get 0.15. And then do the math, 0.18 divided by 0.15, you get 1.2. And because 1.2 is a greater number than 1, it's elastic. If it was less than 1, it would be inelastic. And if it was equal to 1, it'd be unitary. And, right, we say it's elastic. Elastic basically means you don't really need the service or good. It acts as a luxury good, whether inelastic, where it acts as a necessity and you need it. And that's the difference between, right, elastic or inelastic. So our product, our service, is elastic. So based off our conclusion to the previous slide, right, personal training is elastic. Now we're going to discuss, well, should sellers raise or lower the price to increase total revenue? And just want to come to the attention that the dollar sign is price and TR is total revenue. So this is what I think is going to happen, right? Sellers should decrease prices to increase their quantity. Okay, if we have decreased prices, more people can afford the service. And due to that, well, this will lead to an increase in total revenue because now more people can buy the personal training services while the price per session decreases. So that is my conclusion for that. Now, side note here, total revenue, right, equals price times quantity. That is the formula that you have to use to calculate total revenue. And, right, this example over here doesn't really have to do with this explanation, but it's just an example showing you, right, how to, find total revenue, which I think is interesting. So here's the demand curve. Here's price on the y-axis, and here's quantity on the x-axis. So quantity is 10, price is 5, multiply them, 5 times 10 is 50. That's how you calculate total revenue. Again, this example is for anyone who's watching to understand how you calculate total revenue. All right, so now we're going to identify 3 factors that relate to price elasticity of our market, which is personal training. So we're going to discuss nature of the good, time horizon, and availability of close substitutes. So with time horizon, you have to keep in mind that you're breaking it up into 2 sections, short run and the long run. What is going to happen in the short run and what is going to happen in the long run. So first, nature of the good, right? Is it a luxurious or is it a necessity? So personal training services are luxurious because not everyone can afford or want to do it. So therefore, the demand is elastic. And that should just be a review from previous slides. Next is time horizon. So in the short run, we have a worker aged 47 that is on a budget due to his salary and at the moment can't afford personal training services. And in 2 years, we see that their salary has increased due to a job promotion. And therefore, in the long run, since their salary has increased, they can afford personal training services and make their lifestyle changes. And next is availability of close substitutes. So this is a industry where we have tons of substitutes you can partake in. So some of the examples of these substitutes include workout videos that you can follow along with at home, and right, you can easily go on YouTube and search up body weight workout videos. And you can also train with a friend, right? If your friend has experience in working out and fitness, you can train with them for advice, and also they can help you get the results you need without paying those costs. And you can also utilize outdoor sporting activities. So for example, you have cycling, hiking, walking, or you could do partner activities like tennis, basketball, kickball, whatever you feel like doing to be active. We have discussed price elasticity factors. Now we are going to dive into, well, does it make more sense for the market to have a price ceiling or a price floor? I think it makes more sense for the personal training market to have a price ceiling, because this is sort of my thinking, my explanation. So the government is going to intervene because they realize that America is unhealthy, which is impacting their ability to be productive in society, and encourages everyone to go to the gym and schedule sessions with a trainer. The government doesn't want price gouging to occur, so they can set a ceiling on price so more people can afford the service. And if we look to the picture over here, right, market is personal training. We are discussing health and wellness control. That's what the government wants to set a price ceiling on, is health and wellness control. And for the explanation here, well, it kind of goes along with this explanation. The government sets a price ceiling due to Americans being unhealthy and can't be productive in society. So they encourage everyone to go to the gym, meet with trainers, and become healthy to carry out productive tasks. And the goal for this is to just help Americans be productive in society. So that is why the government is setting that price ceiling. And if we look at the graph, so we have price, quantity, supply curve, demand curve. Here's our market equilibrium, right? So we can see here, this point here, right, explains the quantity supplied meeting the price ceiling. And then this point here, right, the quantity demanded meets the price ceiling. So this kind of just explains how, right, now everyone can utilize trainers so they can become healthy and citizens can be productive and get their tasks done within their jobs. So lastly, we are going to review the impact of minimum wage on labor markets. So take this for example. If the minimum wage goes up, more workers in the personal training industry will be interested in jobs. And let's look at the graph. So for example, right, the minimum wage is set at $11, and this is our market equilibrium. If so something happens in the market which makes the wages get bumped up to $28 per hour. Okay, more people are going to be interested in that opportunity, and that will lead to more laborers, so more workers flowing into that market. And that kind of explains what this graph is about. So that wraps up this video. Thank you everybody for watching. And if you have any questions about anything that I have just went over about price controls, elasticity, and labor markets within the personal training industry, please leave them down in the comment section and I will get back to you within one business day. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.